All right, this is Prep Sports Now, a Las Vegas Sun podcast brought to you by the A's and Las Vegas Aviators. We thank them for their continued support of high school sports, and it's the playoffs, so we are bringing in the heavy hitter today.
That's right.
The man, the myth, the legend, Coach Brad Talich. Welcome back.
No, thanks for having me, Ray. I appreciate doing this with you, and I can't wait. It's playoff season. You know, you get to see what's going to happen here. I think it's kind of panning out the way we kind of thought a little bit, and the way teams kind of advanced over the course of the season. So it's exciting. We're going to see some nice matchups if they can get through round one.
Yeah. So. The last time you were on the show, the following week, Nolan, co-host, followed.
He's great,
and he was like, boy, you're putting me after LeBron, basically.
No, he was awesome. I listened to the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm a frequent listener. I listen all the time. And Nolan, what a great job he does.
Yeah.
He does a great job for kids all around the city.
Yeah. So when you were a coach, you ran the spread.
Yeah.
This special word, but you ran a special word.
Yeah, we ran the Franklin system.
The Franklin system.
Yes,
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
If you got on, like, say, the 3-yard line, and you're going into the end zone.
Yeah, I saw that Palo Verde versus Green Valley this week.
Okay,
Saw the same thing.
Are you under center or are you
go? We called it water.
Okay.
All we had to say was water, and we did practice under center for 4th and 1, 4th and inches, 3rd and inches, goal line.
Okay.
You know, we want to get under center. Yeah, you know what? With defenses penetrating so much, I mean, you don't have a lot of space offensively because you run out of the end zone. So defenses are going to really get after you. So I think it's a good idea to get under center.
Because I've seen it twice this year where, like, you go to the Shap El Dorado game. El Dorado's on the goal line, and they're getting in shotgun.
Yep.
And all you got to do is do the Jalen Hurt butt push or get a fullback somewhere or something.
Especially if you're first and goal. You have 4 downs.
Yeah.
4 opportunities to score. You know, I believe in getting under center.
Okay, I do too. Drives me crazy. I'm glad.
Drives me nuts too.
I'm glad we agreed. Okay, so were you at the? You weren't. Okay, Friday night.
I was at the Palo Verde Green Valley. What a game! Palo Verde Green Valley game. Yeah.
Okay. Green Valley, a lot of passes dropped.
Yes.
From what I understand.
Yeah.
And
there were.
So the one thing is, if we would have talked about that game last week, we would have had Green Valley winning by
20.
Okay. Do you think that there were certain teams out there last weekend that might have overlooked who they were playing?
Well,
Green Valley being an example.
Green Valley could be one of them. You know, I see the scores. I brought the brackets with me, Ray, and I looked at the scores of the first round, and it kind of went as we thought. But I was at the Green Valley Palo Verde game, and what a game! Both teams had opportunities, you know, to kind of go up in the game and win the game. Both teams played great defense in critical times in the game. It was, you know, I'm a defensive guy, so it was nice to see both teams play awesome defense.
Green Valley kind of clinched it there in the fourth quarter.
They did.
Palo gets the ball on the other side of the field.
Palo gets the ball with no timeouts, with about a minute 30 remaining, and they ran a halfback pass, I think, on third down or fourth down. I can't remember, but it was there. It was a great play call. It was there. You know, you just got to make plays when opportunities come to you.
Exactly.
And the play just wasn't made by the Palo team.
Correct. So on the way home from here on Friday night, I go over to Coronado. Coronado's playing Gorman. Coronado could have been playing whomever, and I would have been there.
Yeah.
So Coronado's got 2 really good players. AK at quarterback, who's going to Georgetown. JJ wide receiver, committed to Utah. Okay, so I show up. It's their senior night. So you've been to these senior nights, right? There's an announcer. It's like, hey, our first senior is Brad Talich. You know, Brad's been on the O-line the last 2 years. He's going to go to this college, and his mom and dad, and his favorite moment was. So the first kid, as soon as I get there, favorite moment was beating Liberty. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's right. Liberty hadn't lost in decades, right?
Right.
And the next kid says, okay, up next is Ray Brewer. Ray's been our kicker for 2 years. He's got a 4.8 GPA. He's going to Harvard. We love Ray. His mom and dad are here. Favorite moment, scoring a touchdown against Gorman. I'm like, Gorman's right across the field. What are you doing to yourself? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, well, there you go. Gorman's, I mean, it's like poking the bear.
Yeah, that's right.
Can we edit the script before the show?
That's right.
So I just, of course, the large division playoffs begin tonight. Gorman defending state champs. They're on a bye.
Bye week. Yep.
So it's Liberty hosting Foothill. Arbor.
It's kind of exactly what we expected.
Correct.
That game, the Arborview Liberty game was kind of determined what that seed in the playoffs was.
And it was a great game.
A great game. You saw Liberty getting better and better and better. And Arborview had played very good football throughout the entire year. So it was going to be a clash between those two teams. Both teams made some critical mistakes in that game. Liberty won with the snap over the head, quarterback's head, and Arborview scoring to go up 7. Now, Liberty has an opportunity to get the ball back and tie the game, but you have to play good football in critical times in the game. And Arborview had a 4th and 10 and got it.
Kid ran for the first down.
They completed it. So I believe to the tight end, who's a great.
Zach
watching that kid play, he's one of the best players we have in the city.
Yeah.
He's a good player.
Yeah, he's got a Michigan offer, some other
he's
schools.
a good player.
So eventually, we're going to assume, this is what we do here, we're going to assume that Liberty beats Foothill. We're going to assume that Coronado beats Desert Pines.
And you got a clash again coming between Arborview and Coronado.
Coronado.
That's a game we're looking forward to.
Not only, you want to label it the Public School State Championship.
Yeah.
And the winner gets Gorman, hopefully at Allegiant Stadium.
Yep.
And
has that been determined yet?
I don't think yet.
Okay.
But we all kind of think it's a safe assumption that eventually.
Yeah, I didn't hear where it was going to be. I thought it might be at Gorman. Might be hosting the state championship games or Allegiant.
It's tough. Once you go to Allegiant, it's tough to go anywhere else. Yeah. And the first Arborview Coronado meeting,
great game.
Down to the buzzer as well.
Great game. Coronado leading most of the game. Then Arborview comes back with a couple of touchdowns to go ahead.
Yeah, and that's going to be just an absolute. You got so many good players on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Arborview, great home crowd.
Oh, awesome! Those kids do an awesome job at Arborview, don't they?
Yeah, it's a fun environment. Yeah. It's going to be a little cold out.
Yeah,
and highly, highly, highly looking forward to it. Of course, Liberty gets the short straw.
Yep.
The
Arborview game was very important for Liberty to stay away from Gorman. But you know what? You got to play Gorman sometime.
Correct.
Whether it be in the second round state championship.
It's a 7. It's a 7. It's a 7.
You got to go through Gorman anyway.
The governor is going to, hold your execution for 7 days. So it's wherever it is. So everybody knows you were on the Liberty staff when they won state.
When we won state in 2019.
Where do you keep the ring?
You know what? I don't pull it out very often. It's in my gun case at my house inside of the ring box. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't pull it out very much.
You don't wear it to dinner or anything?
No, not too much.
Okay. All right. Well, the next division lower, we've got Faith, who I think is better than McNogue.
Faith could be the second best team in our city after watching them play.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter to the division. I mean, they're very, very talented.
Yeah, Alex Rogers has done a great job, the quarterback, of not only making plays with his feet and his arm and managing the game. He ain't turned the ball over.
No.
And that's been, I think, the difference for them.
It is.
0 turnovers. Well, he's probably had a few. But they're eliminating the turnovers. They're not force-feeding Breslin to run the ball. They're letting Alex throw it and not afraid to kick a field goal. Mike's got them very organized. I mean, the coaches over there, Mike and Jay, those guys do such a good job. And for me, Faith is the team to beat. But I tell you what, I've always been, and you don't like this and Case don't like this.
Right.
I'm a best player on the field guy.
Uh-huh.
And I know I'm wrong. I know football's 11 guys, subs, and the whole 9 yards. Yes.
Yep.
But that Dominic Oliver kid at Legacy is damn good.
He's good.
And
he's very good.
And I think he's the type of kid. I don't love the matchup.
He's a game changer.
Correct. I don't love the matchup with Shadow in the other game because Travis knows they're not that great at defense.
Right.
And he is going to run the clock. He knows how to, just like you did with D.O. against Arborview, shorten the game. You wrote the textbook on that, and he read it cover to cover, just like he did against Gorman last year. He's going to shorten that game and put a lot of pressure on Legacy.
That's the game I think a lot of people are looking forward to because Shadow is so different offensively.
Correct.
They have the opportunity to shorten the game. They have the opportunity to extend drives with the option football game. That's going to be an interesting football game. Don't count Shadow out. I know it's best. Legacy's got that best player on the field.
And Legacy took it to Shadow.
Yes,
it was like 42-18.
Yes, they did.
That's just not beating them. That's beating them.
They handled them. They did. But this is the playoffs. A little bit different story. It's you see him again, make the adjustments that's needed. Travis he knows he can control the game.
Sure.
With his offense. Try to keep his defense and Legacy's offense off the field.
Yeah. And so last week, Legacy beat Silverado. Silverado, of course, didn't win a game all year.
Yeah.
Legacy didn't exactly crush them.
They didn't crush Silverado. I was kind of surprised with that score.
Overlooked them a little
overlooking.
bit. Correct. The Green Valley syndrome. Yes.
You mentioned overlooked. Maybe that was one that was overlooked, Silverado, since they hadn't won a game. They've struggled a little bit with numbers there at Silverado. They've had to pull up some kids from the JV squad. A lot of younger kids on that Silverado team. So I was a little surprised, as I think you were too, with that score. Maybe overlooked.
Correct. And AJ's done a good job of, or not AJ, but good job of surrounding himself at Silverado with good human beings.
Yeah, you got Andy there. You got a state champion coach you can kind of go to and pull from a little bit. Yeah, absolutely.
Correct.
To have good people around you.
All right, so the next division, Canyon Springs crushes Valley.
Yes.
Mojave. Mojave's the interesting one.
You know what? It looks like now, if things play out, it looks like Mojave versus Losi again.
And
so what a game!
Great game.
Oh yeah.
So my deal with Mojave. Have you seen them in person?
I haven't seen them in person.
They got
a lot about them.
Jimmies and Joes. They're big.
Yeah.
And
what a year they've had.
They've had a great year.
Good for those kids.
And you're right. Cheyenne is playing Mojave.
Yeah, you assume.
You assume. And
Losi's
playing Cimarron.
Yeah. You assume.
You see where the truck is headed, right?
Yep.
And, of course, they played earlier this year. Mojave got the win.
Yep.
Losi's been injured all year.
Yep.
I just think that right now, I'm going to be interested Mojave with this bye. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
The buys, the way the playoff is set up with these buys, usually you got your last regular season game, you go into the playoffs.
Yes.
And now all these teams have these off weeks.
Now the number one seeds are going to have a bye.
But nobody likes that. You think Gorman wants to be sent at home on Friday?
Not.
No. They want to play anybody. They're ready to go.
Play anybody.
And you've got
same thing with Faith.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. And it's tough to keep everybody engaged, healthy. I mean,
you have a question mark. Who are you going to play?
Correct.
Who do we prepare for? You don't want to. You certainly don't want to overlook. You want to prepare for what's on the table next.
Correct.
But now, could Mojave be looking forward to Losi? Could they be studying that?
Correct.
Could Faith be studying Shadow Ridge? Who knows?
Correct.
Or Legacy?
No, but last week, I guarantee you. Well, I don't guarantee you, but I would assume that Faith was studying Green Valley.
You assume.
Was Mike sitting there putting Palo film in?
You know,
probably.
I don't know. Yeah, you don't know. Palo could have easily won that game against Green Valley.
Correct.
Easily could have won that game.
Got him going, Joe, and your guy Mike.
It was a
everybody got him going.
Game.
Yes.
It was a great football game to see. That's what I want to see in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That and round 2, you just don't know. You know, anybody could beat anybody on any given night, right?
So some props here before we get to the next division.
Let's go.
The NIAA has its academic state champions, and in the 4A, the league with Mojave and Somerset Losi 3.02 GPA, best in Nevada. So congratulations from them. To give you the rundown, 5A is Minogue, 336, Coronado, 3rd, 327. Okay. No surprise there. Coronado, great academic school. 4A is Losi, 3A, Truckee, Churchill County, Spring Creek, Northern Nevada, Sweden.
Mostly northern schools.
In fact, all of these are northern schools. Yes. So maybe they're smarter in Northern Nevada than we are here.
I wouldn't say.
Golly, I'm gonna hate myself. Lake Tahoe guys.
We just have more. We just have more of a pool that kind of pulls down our numbers.
Correct. So shout out to Losi for being our best academic.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The league we kind of glanced over real fast. Division 5, 3.
3. Okay, let's go.
Canyon beat Valley back-to-back weeks. They're playing better. Shap got a win.
Shap got a win.
So it's Canyon, Shap.
Versus Del Sol, right?
Yes. Yeah. Canyon, Shap, Spring Valley,
Valley's
El Dorado.
Right. The Spring Valley is the number 1 seed, I believe.
Correct. And so Spring Valley, I'm kind of outclassed on a little bit this year. After Marcus left, I
don't know what happened there. Yeah.
And I haven't been able to talk to him.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
You know, I just wish him well. And
correct.
Because we all know that he's very good for kids.
Good.
Very good for the game.
Great human being.
Yeah.
So I'm a little outclassed. I want to see, in my heart, I want to see Shap or Eldo.
Yeah.
Right? Old school. So they're going to be
after the cleat again.
Yeah, they're going to be playing Friday night. And, of course, in the 3A, got Pahrump against Slam.
Right. Slam has had the bye.
Had the bye.
Week. Yeah.
Neville kid's not playing this week.
Really? I didn't realize that.
Correct. And Mawapa Virgin.
Oh, there you go.
A rematch of the Powers. Now, I don't know if it matters.
Who won the first game?
Mawapa did. Handled them pretty well.
Really?
Yeah.
Virgin Valley, however, beat Slam, I want to say.
Slam beat Mawapa, Virgin beat Slam, Mawapa beat Virgin.
Right.
And
then Slam ended up with the number 1 seed because they beat Mawapa.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
And then Slam had the bye. Pahrump beat Mater East.
Yep.
48-40 on Friday. And Virgin crushed Democracy.
Right.
And here we are.
Yep.
And I think the Virgin Mawapa game is going to be close like it always is.
It's going to be a tight game. Yep.
And I noticed that last week Virgin threw the ball 30 times, which they've been running with Drew Dixon over and over and over. Mm-hmm. This week they decided to throw the ball. So they must have seen something in that first Mawapa meeting.
You win football games by running. You know, you look at tape and you say, wait a minute, you know, there's an 8-man box. You know, it's going to be a tough running the ball, or sometimes a 9-man box. You know, this might be very difficult in running the football. And Virgin Valley's got a very similar offense to Slam. Both those offenses are very similar. You know, you want to establish the run, but sometimes, you know, when you see the defensive front, you say, wait a minute, to win this game, we got to throw the ball.
Yeah.
You know?
And I do.
And maybe that's what they saw.
Well, I do appreciate how they basically looked at the Democracy game as a scrimmage to try to get new stuff implemented. To get ready for Mawapa. Not sure if any of it matters because one team's got one team's going to have to go up north next week. It's snowing there. Tough drive. Good team waiting for you. But, you know, it seems like every year Mawapa's in the Final Four.
Absolutely, yeah.
And they win 10 games every year.
For the last couple of years, it's been Slam, Mawapa, then you have Truckee up north.
Truckee,
and what a good program that is.
Correct.
When you see them play, they've
Correct.
established a very good program at Truckee.
Correct. Absolutely correct. Well, we better get to the picks.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
I don't want to brag, but I went 13-1 last week.
Nice.
Not bad. And I'm up to 153-58 on the season.
153-58.
It's not bad.
Not bad.
Not great. I was
3-1.
Yeah, last year I was a little better, but there's been some shocks this year, right?
There has been.
Yeah. So one of the hiccups this week is you got teams that are coming off that bye, playing against teams that haven't stopped.
Right.
So we'll see how that
But we
impacts.
still assume
Correct.
number one seeds are going
Well-oiled machines.
to win the game.
And
that's why they're the number one seed.
And this is the time of the year when people are basketball and wrestling are calling.
Yeah.
So the first 3 games I think are going to be a consensus. Foothill at Liberty.
I'm going to say Liberty.
Me too. Basic at Arbor.
I'm going to say Arbor.
DP at Coronado.
I'm going to say Coronado.
Okay, now I'm going to trick you.
Okay.
There's 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
Mercy rule in Nevada is 35 points.
It is.
How many of them end by the mercy rule of a running clock?
I'm going to say the first game with Liberty and Foothill, I attended the game. Foothill's got some nice players. They do. But it was very close at half to be a running clock at half. I'm going to say Liberty Foothill's going to be a running clock in the second half.
Okay.
I'm going to say Arborview as well.
Okay. I'm going to say all 3 of them.
Yeah. All 3
It
of them.
should
There
be
you
a
go.
pretty pedestrian day.
Yeah.
Okay. Game of the week. Shadow at Legacy.
Yes, that's the game of the week.
And again,
I'm going to go to that one.
first meeting 42-18 Legacy.
That's going to be different.
Okay. Okay. Why is it going to be different?
Well, Coach Foster, he's going to study, how we talked about that earlier. How can I shorten this thing? How can I extend possessions, take away possessions from Legacy? How can I do that? And he has the offense to do it.
Okay.
He
so
does.
Who are you
so,
picking?
You know what? I'm going to pick Legacy by a little bit.
I picked Legacy by a little bit as well.
Yeah.
I just think that, plus Legacy has got that.
They have some good athletes.
And they made.
And you're right. They have the best athlete in that game.
And they went to the state game last year.
Yes, they did.
They won state. Won state last year. Okay, next game, Green Valley at Faith Lutheran.
Yeah.
You saw Green Valley last week. Mm-hmm. Faith Lutheran coming off that bye that we're not sure about.
Yeah.
Who do you got?
And I was really impressed with Green Valley's linebacking core. Really impressed with them. They get to the football well. They defend the passing game pretty well. They defend. Their linebacking core plays the game in critical times of the game. They play it very well. So their linebackers do. However, you're going against a well-oiled machine in Faith.
Yeah.
They're very the quarterback manages, like you talked about, manages the game very well. No turnovers, extends drives with his feet. He can do that. He can throw the ball. They have a good running game, and they play very good defense as well. So I got to say Faith in this one.
And I will tell you this: last year, Faith beat Green Valley in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So they've got their number without a doubt.
Yeah.
Here's a game we didn't talk about. Desert Oasis.
Oh, yeah, Desert Oasis.
Smoked Sunrise Mountain.
They did.
And
Sunrise they struggled from the beginning of the year. And it wasn't a lot of their fault. It could be some of what we do to those kids.
Correct. Sunrise, Dio at Vegas. Now, you were at Dio before.
Yeah.
Dio's up there.
Yeah.
Vegas is up here.
Yep.
I'm using my hands.
I know. Here we go.
Kickoff is at 6, right?
Yep.
Friday night, I-15, you got people coming in from California. Mm-hmm. So you got to get from the top of Buffalo or wherever to the I-15. I-15 to the 215. 215 to the 95. Charleston down or Boulder, whatever down.
To Boulder. Yeah.
Correct.
Or Charleston.
It'd be easier for them to go play Bakersfield.
Right. Might be easier for them to fly over there.
Correct.
To get rid of all that traffic.
I don't know if that makes a difference, but they're going to have to leave the
They'll
school
leave pretty early. Yeah.
at 4-ish, right?
They will.
Or even 3:30.
Maybe even earlier. Yeah.
Okay. Does that impact the game?
No, I don't think it will. No, when you get to the field, it's once you step on there, all that traffic stuff, the time doesn't matter. What matters is what's in front of you.
Okay. And what's in front of them is
Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brody, Tanner Ball.
Yeah.
Michael Walker.
That's going to be a great game.
Correct.
It's going to be a very good game.
Correct.
I went over and talked to the Vegas kids. Enjoyed that experience talking with them.
Correct.
And it was right before their DP game. That was kind of the rivalry back in the day.
Yeah, East Side bragging rights.
When DP just opened, it took a lot of the Vegas kids away. But talked to them, and I think they ended up beating DP this year.
They did. And I think this game is Vegas, of course, their last time out, they lost to Centennial.
Yeah.
Didn't matter because they'd already had
they already had the number 2.
They already had a bye.
Right.
And
them in Centennial.
I like Vegas. What I don't like is they have 0 backups.
You're correct.
Here's our guys, and we're going to throw the kitchen sink at you.
Yeah.
And if they do not have the ability to rally from behind.
They don't.
And DO is a team that throws the ball kind of good, I guess.
They want to throw the ball.
Right.
And they have – DO's the team that when they play teams beneath them, they're great. When they play teams equal or better, they struggle. I'm picking Vegas because of the travel and because of that.
I am too. I'm going to pick Vegas.
Okay. Next game, now we're getting into the easy one.
Okay. What do we think?
Cimarron at Losi.
Yeah.
Cimarron won their first playoff game since 13 last week.
It's good for Cimarron. Okay. Yeah.
They ain't going to beat Losi, though.
No.
Okay. We agree.
Yeah, we agree. Yeah.
Okay, next game, Eldo
at Spring
Valley. Yeah.
That's a good game.
Yeah, it could be. I think Eldo's the number 4 seed.
Correct.
I want to say. And who did they end up beating?
They beat Pinecrest.
They beat Pinecrest, yeah.
And they're playing better. They should have beat Shap earlier in the year. They lost at the buzzer.
Yep. That's right.
And Shap beat Spring Valley. Mm-hmm. Granted, who knows because Spring Valley had the bye locked up.
Right.
Don't know what Spring Valley we got.
We don't. That's what we don't know.
El Dorado's got some momentum from playing last week. Spring Valley didn't play last week.
Right.
I listed this as my favorite, closer than you think. I went with Spring Valley.
I do. I'm going to go Spring Valley, and I agree with you, Ray, closer than what a lot of people think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next game, which gave me a lot of thought.
Yeah.
Centennial and Clark.
Yeah.
Centennial, I watched a little bit of the tape against Desert Pines.
Okay.
First game of the year.
Yeah.
And they had some kids that were just dogging it.
Yeah.
And I can't get that out of my head. But they're supposed to be better than Clark.
Right.
And Clark has got 0 upperclassmen. 0. And they're beating teams they shouldn't beat. Yeah. They lost to DO by 1. They beat Durango last week.
You know what? That's a. I don't want to say it's a game that kind of will propel you, but that was a close game versus DO. Those kids should be very happy with, even though they did lose.
Yeah.
It's a close score against a good football team in DO in their division.
Yeah, and I just
I go back. Ray, what goes in my mind is Durango. I had such high hopes for Durango, and I still do. The program's moving forward. However, I saw Durango beat Centennial this year, and I thought, wow, here's a team that could be a force in there. And then they end up losing to Clark. So now I'm thinking, well, Durango's beat Centennial. Now we got a Clark Centennial matchup. Yeah. Can Clark do the same thing?
So I think Clark is dangerous because they're playing with nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose.
And Centennial went on the run last year to win the 4A title.
They won the state championship, yeah.
I don't know if they have playoff experience, but it's a home game.
Yeah.
And again, Clark is just so young.
I don't know if physically they match up with Centennial. And
Yeah.
we got to also say Centennial enrollment 3,000, Clark not so much.
That's a big difference, yeah.
Correct. I picked Centennial close, and they might blow them out, but I think Clark might upset them. But I got Centennial.
I just look at that Clark. In my mind, Clark Durango. You know, I wanted to say if you asked me Clark Durango who would have won that game, I would have said Durango.
That was my 13-1.
That was the one.
That was the one.
Yeah. So I got that. And now I look back.
Good for the Clark kids.
Yeah.
Excellent. I'm going to say Centennial by a lot.
A lot. Okay.
Just because of the playoff experience.
Okay. And of course, you were here when Centennial, when you first got to town. I mean, when you
Centennial was a force.
And at the same time, Clark was in that long, multi-year losing streak.
Right.
So the fact that they're on the same plane, sharing the same field in November, is awful.
Crazy.
For Centennial.
Yeah.
Next game, Slam Nevada against Pahrump.
They've played once.
And
Slam got the best of Pahrump.
Correct.
Slam will be hosting Pahrump this time.
Yep.
They won't be going to Pahrump.
Correct.
I still say Slam.
I think Slam was big. Everybody.
Slam's got a week off. They've been looking at Pahrump, on tape.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks. So, I say Slam.
And when I say everybody, the amount of 3A listeners on this show is pretty good.
Is it good?
Yeah. I mean, you got to think about it. Some of those small towns don't get any coverage,
right.
And we talk about them a little bit each week, and they love it.
Yeah. Oh, we should probably be talking about them a little bit more than what we do.
Correct.
Question for you, Ray. How do you know how many people's listening to the podcast?
So
how do you
we
know
get
that?
a list of downloads.
You get a list of downloads
from
what's the numbers like?
So we get like 200 downloads on like iTunes a week, and then anybody who wants to go on the site, you could press the button alone on the site.
Do you get those numbers as well?
I don't get. I mean, I know how many people open the story, but I don't know how many people actually go to the blog.
So if I was to ask you, how many listeners this week for the playoff version, how many listeners do you project that we're going to have listening to this podcast?
Today, I don't know, say between 500 and 600. Maybe.
500 and 600. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Best guess.
You know what? Ray, I'm going to tell you this again. If it wasn't for you and Case covering high school football the way you guys do, we wouldn't have a lot of coverage at all. So I know, and I can't speak for everybody, but I know I've talked to a lot of coaches who share my thoughts, and we thank you so much for doing what you do for high school football.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you
very much.
Okay, next game.
Okay, here we
so
go.
we're in agreement on Slam.
Yes.
Next game, Virgin Moapa.
Oh boy, that's going to be a good one. I'm going to pick. I'll tell you what I'm going to pick. I know Moapa beat Virgin the first time.
Correct.
But I'm going to pick Virgin Valley.
Okay, I got Moapa.
Okay, there we
I just
disagree
think that. Well, no, it's good to disagree.
Yeah.
And I just think that
It's going to be a good
Moapa got after him so hard on the first game.
They did.
And they've had a week to prepare, knowing that they had the extra week knowing they were going to get Virgin. Because no way Virgin was going to lose with Democracy.
Yeah, no.
So
they've been looking at him for quite some time.
Not only do they look at him year round,
these two teams,
but they just had him their
well.
last game, so they're basically preparing again.
Again, they know each other well.
Yeah, and maybe that's why Virgin was throwing it so much, to try to throw Moapa off their prep game.
Who knows?
And then they're going to go back and try to
run the ball.
Dixon kid 24 times a game.
Right.
So
it's going to be that game's going to be close. It always is.
Okay. Next game is Cheyenne Mojave. Last game, my Shap Cowboys.
Canyon Springs.
And Canyon Springs.
Canyon Springs is number 2 seed, I think. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ray,
I want to go with your shot Cowboys. I do too. I want to go with the Cowboys so bad in this game.
But
I do.
Yeah.
But
it's Canyon.
You got a team that's getting better. Over the season they've got better. I think they blew out Valley
2 times in a row. They played Valley back to back.
Right.
Now, I don't know if that makes you any better.
No, I don't know either.
It might give you some more confidence.
It might give you some things that you want to look at, either offensively or defensively.
So, Coach, you're what? You're like 49, 50 years old?
I'm in the 50s.
You're in the 50s.
I'm still a young buck at heart, though.
You love football.
That's been my life. It's been my family's life. We kind of, breathe it, and I love following.
You got the Wyoming Cowboy sunglasses on right now.
I do. Wyoming finally got a win.
Yes.
We're not very good this year.
Against New Mexico.
Yeah.
Why? So you love coaching.
Yeah.
You're a purist.
What I love is Monday. I really love. Don't get me wrong. I love Fridays, but I love Monday through Thursday in the preparation.
So why don't you? Because you love kids.
Yeah.
Why don't you go take like a job at Valley or a job at Shap where you could really make an.
Yeah, I did that at Dio and at Coronado. Coronado was really.
Yeah, but those are affluent schools.
They were, but Ray, they hadn't seen success at all before I got there. They were a 2-win team, a 3-win team. I took over Coronado the very first year. We went to the state semis, and after that, in my year 3, we went back to the state semis.
And you spent all that time putting that Franklin offense.
Oh yeah. You know what? It was a lot of hard work by a lot of people. And Ray, that's what it takes. It's not one person. It's not me. There's a lot of people.
Could you go to Valley where there's 23 kids in the program?
With the right people around you.
Like who? How many coaches? Because you're not going to get a full 13-person coaching staff.
You're not.
You're going to have to make do with.
A lot of times you have to coach coaches. Sometimes you have to.
Correct.
In that, you have to have the philosophy. You have to look at what you got, ahead of you. And then you want to kind of set up a schedule for some success. Mm-hmm. You want your team to achieve little baby steps in success. And if you do that, little things lead to big things. Mm-hmm. Little things for Desert Oasis. They had, before I got there, they never won a playoff game, and they never beat Cimarron. So that was kind of a focus for us.
And you did it.
Cimarron. Then once we accomplished that, it was to win a playoff game, which we did against Palo Verde.
What if you went to Rancho that hasn't won the Bone game since '95?
You have, again, that's tough. Since '95. How many years is that, Ray? Holy smokes.
31 years,
31
right?
years. They haven't seen the Bone in 31 years. That tells you how good Vegas has been.
Correct.
The last 31 years.
Correct.
But it's baby steps. It won't come overnight.
Correct.
Yeah, it's a lot of hard work.
So this is Prep Sports Now, a Las Vegas Sun podcast, and of course we've got Coach Talich, and I'm Ray Brewer. And thank you to the A's and Las Vegas Aviators. And we will have another show next week. Thank you to everybody. All right, let's go.